It is 8 a.m. on Saturday, February 6th. Take a look at our live picture from our BJC Skycam in downtown St. Louis, where we are enjoying the sun outshining right now. Enjoy it while it lasts because we have some big weather changes ahead. Good morning and happy Saturday. I'm Paige Hulsey. Thank you so much for waking up with us here on News 4 this morning. Let's get over to Kristen Cornett to talk a little bit more about the snow in the forecast.
Yes.
Breaking news this morning involving a disturbance at the Justice Center in St. Louis. News 4 just confirming that St. Louis Mayor and Public Safety Director are at the City Justice Center, or the City Jail as some might call it, in downtown St. Louis, where some inmates have been seen setting small fires and throwing debris out of windows there. News 4's Julia Avery joins us live from the scene outside the Justice Center. Julia, this is right across from City Hall there on Tucker. What are you seeing right now? Trash just piling up, and so are the complaints from residents in parts of St. Louis and Jefferson counties. They say they're paying for trash service that's not being delivered. That means garbage piling up with nowhere to go. The customers say they feel like they're throwing away money, paying for a service that never seems to service them. News 4's Ashley Lincoln looked into these complaints and went to the company to get answers. And now to the pandemic. The state of Illinois marking a new record regarding vaccines. Yesterday, Governor J.B. Pritzker said the state hit a new one-day high for the number of vaccines administered. Police in the Metro East are asking for the public to keep an eye out for the subject of an intense manhunt. On your screen right now, you see the picture of Andre Mathis. He's suspected of setting his home on fire with his wife and children inside. Happened on Monday in Alton. Family members did escape that fire. Investigators say there are also allegations of child pornography involved in this case. He's considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, you're asked to call police. It was 1 month ago today that rioters stormed the U.S. Capitol. Today, 2 St. Louis area men are out on bond after appearing in federal court on charges related to that siege.
Any comment? No comment.
That is Paul Westover of Lake St. Louis leaving court yesterday. He had no comment when asked about his actions at the Capitol last month or the charges against him. Only News 4 crews were there as federal agents raided his home on Thursday. Westover's attorney, though, did speak on his client's behalf. Now, the man you see here, they're in pajama pants and a jean jacket. That is William Bill Mary. The St. Louis County man is facing 4 federal charges, including theft of government property. Prosecutors say he was identified in this photo holding on to a piece of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's sign. Mary is related to the woman in this picture there on the right, Emily Hernandez. She's from Sullivan, Missouri. She is also facing numerous federal charges. All 3 are out on bond. Now, the FBI is still looking for many others involved in the Capitol riots. If you have any information that could help, you're asked to call the number. We're going to put it up on your screen. There it is, 1-800-CALL-FBI. You can also submit a tip at tips.fbi.gov. And to get a better look at the pictures, we have a link in our coverage on the KMOV News app. Hey, are you a little bit bummed because Puxatawny Phil saw his shadow this week, meaning a lot more winter ahead? Don't worry. Our Steve Harris found a different groundhog who saw things a little differently and in a good way. Stay tuned for some good news about spring coming up. Welcome back. We are continuing to monitor a disturbance at the St. Louis Justice Center that the mayor's spokesperson is calling, quote, very dangerous. This is a live look from our News 4 crew there on the scene. You can see inmates there several stories up in the Justice Center after the windows have been broken out. We have reports of small fires being set. In fact, you see one inmate there holding something that is currently on fire as we speak. They're also holding signs there out the window. This all started around 6 o'clock this morning, again, when those fires started with debris being tossed out the window. This is downtown in St. Louis. The city jail is right across from St. Louis City Hall. In fact, we're told that Mayor Lyda Cruz and City Public Safety Director Jimmy Edwards are there on scene, possibly trying to negotiate with the inmates there or working to resolve this situation. We know this is at least the 3rd disturbance at the Justice Center since December. Inmates have been complaining about conditions there. Again, a live picture right now. We have a crew there on scene. We're going to get an update from them in just a couple of minutes. Now, in other news this morning, as you surely know, the Kansas City Chiefs are set to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl tomorrow. But this morning, the Chiefs head coach and the entire team really dealing with the aftermath of a crash that has left 2 young children seriously hurt. Britt Reed is the son of head coach Andy Reid, and Britt is also the team's outside linebackers coach. You see his picture here. Right now, though, he's the focus of a police investigation following a crash that injured 2 children. One of those children suffering life-threatening injuries. That crash happened Thursday night in Kansas City. Reed hit a car that was parked on the side of the road after it ran out of gas. A 5-year-old was critically hurt. A 4-year-old also hurt, but is expected to recover. Now, according to a search warrant, an officer said Reed smelled of alcohol and his eyes were bloodshot. Reed also told the officer that he had 2 to 3 drinks and he'd also taken Adderall. A team spokesperson says they are aware of the crash. They're gathering more information right now. Reed is not currently facing any criminal charges at this time. Don't go anywhere. We still have another half hour of News 4 this morning straight ahead, and we're going to go back to that scene in downtown St. Louis to update you on this breaking news. A disturbance happening right now at the St. Louis Justice Center. Our crews are there. We're going to check in with them right after this break. We're coming up on 8:30 on this Saturday morning. Here's a live look from downtown St. Louis from our BJC Sky Cam at the Gateway Arch, and the sun still pushing through the clouds there. It is cold, 28 degrees, and we have some very active weather in the days ahead that we are going to get you caught up on in just a moment. But first, we do want to get to some breaking news that we are following this morning. There is unrest right now at the St. Louis Justice Center, also known as the City Jail in downtown St. Louis. Throughout the morning, we have seen inmates setting fire, breaking windows, and tossing items from several stories high in that building. News 4's Julia Avery joins us live from the scene right now. Julia, what is the latest?
Paige.
Those inmates there are holding signs. We can see them, and I know you're being kept kind of a distance away for safety reasons, but can you hear what they're saying? Are they saying what this is about? I mean, I know there have been conversations about concerns with coronavirus and the conditions there in the city jail. Is that what this is about? Okay, Julia, thank you so much for that update. We're going to check back in with you in just a little bit. I know you're going to be working there on the scene to gather the very latest information. And of course, we'll also be bringing updates online as well. So Julia, we'll see you in just a bit. But we need to turn also to our other big story of the morning, and that is weather, because people need to prepare for the snow that's to come. We are keeping a very close eye on this situation at the St. Louis Justice Center. This is a live look from News 4 crews there on the scene. You can see several inmates crowded around windows that they have broken out with items set on fire. Earlier, it looked like a mattress was on fire. Now it looks like they have a broom on fire. They've been shouting, holding signs, tossing some items from the window there. This all started around 6 o'clock this morning when we first got reports of small fires being set there inside the Justice Center. At times, we've seen upwards of a dozen inmates crowded there around this window, several stories high. Now, if you're not familiar with it, the Justice Center, which is basically the city jail, it's right across from St. Louis Hall in downtown St. Louis on Tucker. We're told that St. Louis Mayor Lyda Krewson, as well as the city's public safety director and some other city officials, are there on scene trying to resolve this situation. It's a situation we've become familiar with in the past couple of weeks. This at least the 3rd disturbance there at the Justice Center since December. We do have a crew on scene. Again, this is a live picture from them. They are working right now to gather new details about how this all started, what the damage is, and how officials hope to get this resolved. And we'll check in with them coming up in just a little bit. In other news this morning, just in case you forgot, tomorrow is the Super Bowl. And tomorrow, fans are going to see something that's never happened before. And this is of special interest to St. Louis viewers. It's a commercial from BJC.
There are moments in history.
We are following breaking news in downtown St. Louis, where there has been unrest for hours now at the St. Louis Justice Center in downtown St. Louis. We have seen inmates breaking windows, setting fires, and throwing objects out of those windows. News 4's Julia Avery joins us live from the scene right outside the Justice Center. And Julia, It looks like a major development in just the last 10 minutes. Police have moved in. What can you tell us? You've been there throughout the morning. In fact, we have video from earlier this morning when we could see some of those fires. Objects like mattresses, brooms being set on fire and held out the window from inmates. We first heard about this around 6 o'clock this morning. It's now 9 a.m. This has been going on for at least 3 hours. It seems like this could have been a very dangerous situation. A big question has to be, why was this not resolved more quickly? Have you seen other police coming in? I mean, have there been other officers from the county or state police, anyone else coming in to assist those correctional officers?
You know, Paige, it seems to be handled from the inside because there is not much of a police presence down here besides to control the crowd down here.
Okay, and Julia, I know that you're still working to learn if anyone was injured in all of this, whether it was inmates or correctional officers there. Another question that we have been getting from people online is, did anyone escape? I want to read really quickly just a statement that we got from the mayor's spokesperson about this. As you could see there in Julia's shot, those inmates were there on the 4th floor. In regards to whether there was any security risk or risk of anyone escaping, the mayor's spokesperson said the situation is isolated to one area in the jail on the 4th floor. He said there is no risk for escape. We will continue to monitor this situation throughout the morning. We'll check in with Julia again in a few minutes, but we do have to turn right now to our other big story of the morning, and that is the weather. We have a major weather system moving this way that people need to prepare for, Kristen. Frontline workers continue to be pushed to the max to treat patients while also keeping themselves safe from COVID-19. One team that's seen a uniquely high rate of COVID-positive patients are those working in labor and delivery at the Women and Infant Center here in St. Louis on the campus of BJC and Washington University School of Med. I recently talked to a maternal and fetal medicine physician there about how much has changed for them throughout this past year and the hurdles they are still facing. Every mom that comes to the Women and Infant Center to deliver is tested for COVID-19, and Dr. Jeannie Kelly says 5 to 8% of them are positive and asymptomatic.
We do know that that rate is significantly higher, about 15 times higher compared to any other unit in the hospital that is being routinely tested for COVID.
15 times higher?
15 times higher on labor and delivery compared to any other surgical unit.
Any idea why?
It's a really great question. And we don't know why. It could be that our patients are typically young and healthy, so the majority of them have an asymptomatic or a mild course of the infection. It also could be that the people who come in to deliver on labor and delivery are much more similar to anybody else on the street. And the people coming in for surgery, they potentially could be older or sicker with other medical issues that make them more likely to have symptoms.
One of the toughest situations is when pregnant women get severely sick with COVID-19.
They are working extra hard, not only to give themselves oxygen, but also to give their babies oxygen. It can be a fine balance between when is the baby mature enough for us to deliver the baby prematurely to give mom a better chance of recovering from COVID versus leaving the baby in and continuing to support mom and hoping that she can get through the COVID infection. Data is still coming out right now, but in our experience, we have seen moms improve dramatically after delivery.
Now that we're nearly 1 year into this pandemic and have more data and experience, some protocols are changing.
For a short time period, we were across the city separating moms and babies if a mom was COVID positive. That felt really bad, and it just did not seem like the right thing to do. And we quickly abandoned that when we realized that we could keep babies safe.
Instead, they focus on teaching mom how to nurse or care for her baby while wearing masks and gloves.
It is our job as part of the perinatal team to teach a mom how to take care of her baby and how to take care of herself in the postpartum period. If a mom is COVID positive, how to protect her baby is part of that teaching.
The visitor policy has also changed to allow doulas in addition to at least one support person or partner for the mom. But some rules remain. Every patient here is still tested for COVID, and with such high rates of positive asymptomatic patients, the staff remains extremely diligent to try and prevent coronavirus from spreading.
So if somebody is positive for COVID, whether they have symptoms or not, we take a couple of more precautions for ourselves in terms of the protective equipment that we use. So we use a little bit more intensive masking and gown. We also ask mom and her partner to mask for as much as possible during their delivery course. It is really hard, and as really uncomfortable to keep a mask on. And you can imagine how hard that can be when someone is in the middle of labor. And we are astounded and so impressed by our moms who have the ability to keep their masks on. And, they're very, very careful in keeping us safe during their labor.
That's another constant, the strength of the women.
This is a really scary time to be pregnant, to be delivering babies. I think moms are amazing, and this is a time where they really shine.
We have some serious winter weather coming this way, fit neither for people or dogs or any kind of pet outside for that matter. Kristen's full forecast straight ahead.